What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock. 8:40. Yeah. Had a good Father's Day, needless to say. Let's see. Had the fam over yesterday. The weather was awful. I don't know if you got rain where you were, but we were planning on having everybody over around 2. So do lunch, brunch, whatever with your families, and then everyone was coming over here around 2. We were going to swim and everything. And about 1, with the whole house picked up, the whole house cleaned. I skimmed the pool 3 times, just had everything looking so nice. And then 1:45, kaboom, skies opened up and it rained. It's like Forrest Gump. It didn't quit for almost 2 months. It was like 3 hours. It rained and rained. So party mostly got moved inside, but eventually we got outside when the weather cleared. Up to about 10 o'clock. Last people left, I guess, around 10 o'clock. And it's a good Father's Day. So, Erica's alarm went off 8:15. She's like, it's 8:15. I was like, oh my God. So I had to hurry up and get Drew's backpack started and pour my coffee and do morning scone. So, hopefully by the time I get to the end of this, it'll be a little better. All right, so what y'all got today? We'll say some good mornings here. Got in the headline there, Jamal Adams has said he wants to be traded to Dallas. Now, 2 things. Number one, it's obviously the Jets have the right to do whatever they want because Adams is still under contract, and I think it'd be stupid if they traded him for pennies on the dollar. But if they do trade him and they're able to deal him to Dallas, that would be wonderful because one of the other reported trade destinations is Tampa Bay. So Mike Detillier mentioned that on AFR on Thursday, and then I believe it was Florio over the weekend who reported it also. It was one of the national guys. And so, for very obvious reasons, would like to keep Jamal Adams away from Tampa. I don't need Tampa getting any better. So, yes, go to Dallas. Go to Dallas and be on perennially underachieving teams for an owner that can't get out of his own way. That's fine. Jamal's from Dallas. That obviously would be fine. Just please not Tampa. Let's see what y'all got this morning. Again, belated Happy Father's Day to all the dads. Hope you had an awesome day yesterday and awesome days every day. Let's see. Good morning, Dustin Johnson. What's up? Stephen Miller, good morning. Kirk Taylor, Reese Avance, what's up? Trivia Carter, good morning. Good morning, guys. Brian and Annie Penton, good morning from Hazleton, PA, headed to North Carolina. Be safe on the road today, Brian. Hope all's well. Hope you had a good Father's Day on the road yesterday, man. Jason Truax, good morning. Kirk Taylor, morning sconers. How are those old fashions? Probably a little too good, Kirk. Probably a little too good. Probably a little too good. Andrew Bayer, Scott Pritchard, what's up? Let's see. Andrew Bayer missed the show this weekend because of the volleyball tournament. Oh yeah, how'd it go? You got to let us know what the results were. What's your take on the LSU players in quarantine, and what it'll mean for college football season as a whole with all the other schools reporting cases? So sure, Andrew. I don't know how popular this take is going to be, but I'm just going to go with it publicly and more vocally when I'm asked. So initially, so to your point about the quarantine, LSU players went to Tigerland. Some Tigerland employees tested positive, so a lot of the Tigerland bars shut down. Obviously, LSU players were there. Initially, they were quarantined, and then it was determined some report, not confirmed through LSU though, that there were positive tests. So, okay, my belief on it is I do believe in herd immunity, and actually, you're starting to get a lot of doctors talk about herd immunity. Initially, the objective with the shutdown of our country was, so for those of like herd immunity is essentially just let everybody sort of get it and have it pass in time, like get it, let it run its course, and then develop immunity to it, or the antibodies people talk about, until they can find a vaccine. But the point initially of the shutdown was to not overwhelm our hospital system, our healthcare infrastructure. That was the big concern initially. Well, we checked that box. Like, we did that. People were quarantined for, they shut down for 2 months, and our healthcare facilities got a hold of everything, and everybody's back running at normal capacity now. A lot of furloughed employees that are going back. Elective procedures are back. Hospitals and medical facilities are doing again what they're intended to do. Like, that was the reason, like, not to overwhelm our healthcare system. So check. If you want to speak specifically about college athletes, like, this is where I'll keep saying, man, there's got to be a difference between, like, what you read in headlines and what narrative is pushed to you and what you make up your own decision and believe. Like, I keep hearing this thing about how, well, we have to consider the safety of the athletes. And yes, you do absolutely have to consider the safety of your athletes. But there has not been, of the millions of confirmed cases, there's not been one college athlete that has died, that has been in intensive care, that, as far as I know, that has been hospitalized, and none have had symptoms severe enough to even report symptoms. Like, I've yet to see one story. I'm as tuned into any of this as anybody. I've yet to see one story of any athlete that's had severe symptoms. So, what are we protecting them against? A virus that has this, that's dominated the headlines for half a year, but is basically healthy people are asymptomatic when they get it. Okay, well, if you get it, okay. I mean, that's my point. So who asked that? I think it was Andrew who asked it. Andrew asked it. So that's my point, Andrew. I'm going to say that again today on AFR. So if you're listening to AFR, you're going to hear it. If you listen to me on the Locked On podcast today on Locked On LSU, you're going to hear it there as well. And that's going to be my point. Like, eventually we have to start having this part of the conversation. Like, we all understand there are people who are at risk, with elevated risk, and those people have to exhibit extreme caution, and all of us should practice good, healthy habits: washing hands, covering sneezes and coughs, practice social distancing when you can. Like, those are all things we should all be doing anyway, and that will help. But we ain't shutting down our country again, and part of that is sports, because it's not just, well, we're diehard sports fans and want our football on Saturdays, by God, and Sundays. It's because it's an enormous part of the economies in the cities which they exist, and it has to happen, and it's going to happen. So that's my take on it, Andrew. And actually, when I see 30 people tested positive, I'm like, sweet, that's about a third of the roster that are going to have immunity built up to it. So awesome. There was my long take for the morning. Chad Yamarino, what's up? Shelby Kelly, what's up? Drew Hurst, what's up? Did everybody hang on through that, or did nobody want to hear me preach? Kevin Boudreaux, let's see, wish they traded to New Orleans, ship Jenkins out to New York. Give someone still solid, may cost us a pick. Probably not realistic, but I can dream. Man, so I would obviously love to see Jamal Adams in New Orleans. My God, that'd be, I mean, obviously is one of, if not the best safety in the NFL. Yeah, I don't know how you make that work, man. Remember, Jamal is still on his rookie deal, and and the Jets don't have to trade him. They have they've got him for this year, and I'm certain they'll exercise a 5th-year option for next year. And then, if they want, they can franchise tag him twice. So really, the Jets have rights to Jamal Adams through 2023 at minimum. Like they have no obligation to trade him. And if a team comes up and just wows them, like here's 3 future first-round picks, I'm certain teams would consider that. But considering the Saints just went and signed Malcolm Jenkins in free agency, and you've drafted guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I know he's going to play nickel, but really is a safety by trade. You still got Marcus Williams, of course. I don't know how you make that work, man. I don't know how you make that work. So, let's see. Yeah, so Kevin, yes, it's probably not realistic, but you can dream. Shelby Kelly, who am I, PD Pablo? I don't know what that means, Shelby. I feel like I should know what that means, but I don't know what that means. Sorry, man. Carrie Hughes, good morning. Belated Happy Father's Day. Hope you had a good one, man. Kelly Gross, good morning. Yancey Benoit, good morning. Off topic, but my question is, who's the best quarterback and running back you ever saw personally? At any level? Or at LSU? What do you mean? Like, clarify a little bit, Yancey. You mean at any level? Patrick Kimmery, what's up, man? Jason Fiorat, what's up, Jason? Good morning, man. Ted Campiso, morning, Matt. Pray for me. Out practice driving in the rain with my boy. Driving test Wednesday for his license. I guess that's a big sign of growing up, huh? Good luck, man. I know in the rain, too. My goodness. Wipers on. Lights on. Buckle up. Kirk Taylor, good thing you playing hurt this morning. Motivation to not let T-Bob host your show on Monday. Hey, man, I tell you, Kirk, if any day that I could have a day off, if T-Bob wants to host, by all means. I mean, I've told you this before. Like, whenever when I'm out, I don't listen. When I'm out, I disengage. So, it's just like whatever happens, happens. As long as it's not anything that's gonna negatively stain the show forever. So, I'm grateful when T-Bob will host, and he's usually willing. So, excuse me. Not easy to get. It's not easy when I go out to get people to fill the show, to host the show, because all of the other shows on our station are tandem shows. So, like, if Jordy's out, T-Bob can host. If T-Bob's out, Jordy can host, right? Or they can bring someone else in. Same with Charles and Jimmy. And Hester has all of his co-hosts, so like Hunt could fill in, or Gordy at some point could fill in. Or something. When you think about 3 hours in the afternoon solo, it's tough. It's tough to find someone that'll do 3 hours solo. So whenever those guys are willing, like I know Jordy filled in for me when I was out. T-Bob filled in one day. Musa did a couple of days. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for those guys doing that. Kirk Peterson, what's up? Steve Menard, good morning. Andrew, okay, here we go. Got the results of the tournament. Lost one, won 3, placed 3rd. Overall, a wonderful weekend. Social distancing was kind of enforced. Definitely a different atmosphere than usual tournament. 90% of the people were not wearing masks, so clearly the majority was comfortable being in a large crowd. Isn't that funny, man? It's like the public, like we are by our actions telling you how we feel, right? In our willingness to go out and do things responsibly, but that's the way it should be. But you turn on the TV or you open Twitter and you see the narrative of confirmed cases. I'm like, what are their symptoms? Okay, confirmed cases. Are they sick? No? Okay, cool. Roll. Wash your hands. Don't pick your nose. But go about your life. Let's see. Jeffrey Bone, what's up, man? Good morning. Shelby, did you watch the Griffey Jr. documentary on MLB Network? I did not. Crazy how good that kid was from 96 to 99, average 52 homers and 140 RBI. Flashback to my childhood. Great stuff. That's cool, Shelby. I didn't even know it was on, man, quite honestly. But Griffey Jr. was awesome. It was hard not to be a fan. One of my worst baseball memories was the 95 Division Series at the Kingdom in Seattle. It was the first time in Mattingly's career that he made the postseason. They lost on the walk-off. Griffey Jr. scored the winning run, but aside from that, it was hard. It was impossible not to be a fan of Griffey. I mean, he was just so smooth. I mean, just backwards hat and BP, the greatest swing ever. Climbing up walls in the outfield. He was just awesome. He was just sensational. Rodney Najoka, what's up? Nicole Havard, good morning. Jeffrey, hey, Matt, hope you had a good Father's Day. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate that, man. Robert Montero, I did. Thank you. Listening from Biloxi, shout out. Biloxi, Mississippi. Jeff McKithen, what's up, man? Pat Huseman, good morning. Hope all the fathers out there enjoyed the weekend. I did, Pat, so thank you very much. I wish we had nicer weather yesterday, but and then this morning, man. For those who are just jumping on, by the way, please, Brock's tagged in the post if you'd like the Brock page, and of course, if you need an orthopedist, think Brock. But woke up this morning, and Erica's alarm went off, and she woke me up. She's like, it's 8:15. Like it was so dark outside still, so overcast and rainy. Just anyway, kind of just dreary, drab day. But we had a good time with family yesterday for sure. Let's see, Jerry DeLucky, what's up, man? Hey, Tony Nikosha, good morning. Nicole, hope you had a good Father's Day with the family. We did, Nicole. Thank you very much. Andrew, let's see. I agree with your take. I guess I'm more wondering about whether or not we see 100,000 fans in the stadium. Andrew, I don't mind. I've referenced this a couple of times because this is one of the things I can reference publicly aside from off-the-record conversations I've had with people. But Stephanie Remp, who is LSU's COO of the athletic department, she's the Senior Associate Executive AD. So she's basically Scott Woodward's right hand. She was with him in Washington. She went to Texas A&M with him, and now she's with him here. She did an interview on The Brand on Talk 107.3 2 weeks ago. And she essentially said season ticket renewals are at, I think she said 98%. And they're planning to put as many people in Tiger Stadium as they can. And my understanding is one of the things that might be hindered are like suites and the stadium club, because that's considered like indoor, and so like they might not be able to put like more than 10 people in a suite, right? As opposed to filling it, which I think there's maybe 20 or 25 seats in the suite. I don't know exactly, but like that may be limited. Same with stadium club. They have to like limit the amount of people they put in the stadium club, because even though the seating's outdoor, when you're in the stadium club, you're inside. So that may be different, but they're proceeding with fans, with plans of putting as many people in stands as possible, and there maybe masks and temperature checks and things like that at the gate to get in, but you still got 10 more weeks. Saturday was 10 weeks from the opener, so how much different does the world look 10 weeks from now? You know what I mean? Got a long way to go. It's just one foot in front of the other right now. Kevin Boudreau placed 9th in a disc golf tournament this weekend out of 53 players in my division. 2 bad holes did me in. All good, man. Top 10. Good on you, dude. Let's see, Kirk. If Adams goes to Tampa, they'll have to change the mascot to a tiger. That's what I told Mike to tell you on Thursday, Kirk. I said, I'm so sick of seeing all of these LSU players in the NFC South not with the Saints. Rick Smith, thanks for preaching, man. I'm so done with this thing. Rick, the thing is, you're done with it. Most people are done with it, Rick. And again, it's not a thing that it's like you're being dismissive or or ignoring the fact that that COVID-19 is a thing that exists. But what, again, the initial purpose of the shutdown was not to overwhelm our healthcare system, and we achieved that, and everything is level now. And I mean, these are conversations that I have with healthcare directors. Like, I mean, Brock is a sponsor of mine. I endorse the Baton Rouge General, the Williamson Eye Center. Like, I have medical facilities that I work very closely with. Like, do you think I'm just making this stuff up? I mean, like, where do you know, anyway. I'm sure all of you know people in healthcare as well, but I think a lot of people feel like in healthcare they can't speak up for fear of how it's going to be perceived in the news, and that's tough. So I'll speak up. Let's see. Brian Ashcraft, Michael Castello, good morning. Jerry DeLucky. Saints couldn't afford Adams and all the players coming off their rookie contracts, especially with talk of salary cap might be reduced. So Jerry, the salary cap, of course, is set based on revenues, and if revenues are down this year, that would obviously adjust the salary cap. But it's my understanding that that they would make necessary adjustments to it to make sure that the contracts work within it, however they need to in the next CBA. So while you're right about the salary cap being reduced, and I haven't done a deep dive into the particulars, but they would sort of manipulate future years to make sure that it works. So you're not having like teams that already have players under contract that now all of a sudden can't afford it under the salary cap, right? Julio Mendez, good morning. Okay, Yancey asked about high school. Best high school running back and quarterback I ever saw. Best high school player I ever saw was Travis Minor. And Travis a lot of times gets forgotten because Catholic didn't win state. And he didn't go on to have a great pro career, and his college career was at Florida State. But, Travis Minor won the Gatorade National High School Player of the Year award. I mean, in an era where there weren't, those pre, 5-star rankings and 24/7 and all that stuff. I mean, Travis Minor was Leonard Fournette, basically. I mean, he was the number one player in the country that everybody wanted. And it was a time when LSU wasn't great, and so he picked Florida State. And he's the only running back ever to lead Florida State in rushing for 4 consecutive years. And he won the national title in '99 and played in the title game in both '98 and 2000. So had a great career, and then went to the pros and played with the Rams and the Dolphins, I think. But in high school, Travis Minor was just unstoppable. He was just on a completely different level from everybody he played against. And it's unfortunate that more people had there been more hype around recruiting at that time, more people would acknowledge it. But I saw every game Travis played as a varsity player at Catholic, and he was just sensational. Best quarterback. To give me some time to think on that, man. I saw a lot of good ones too. Give me some time to think on that one. Nothing pops. Like I didn't see Peyton Manning in high school. I didn't see Josh Booty in high school. You have to give me some time to think on that one. Julio Mendez, what's up? Let's see, Zach Golden, Ira Field, Joseph Manzella, A2 Joel. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Kirk, you ever think about going co-host one day? What made you want to fly solo? Kirk, if I ever brought in a co-host, it would have to be someone that the dynamic worked. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but that's not an easy thing to do. The most valuable thing that you can find is chemistry, and you cannot fabricate it, you cannot buy it, you cannot manipulate it. It either exists or it does not. And if it does not, it is awkward. So I'd have to find someone where that worked. And what made me want to fly solo, it wasn't a thing. It was just when Guarantee started that station, they hired me, and I was the only employee. They weren't paying for anything else, It was just, maybe one day I'll do a podcast of like the whole origin story of 104.5 ESPN and how that all came about. But I think that would be interesting for our listeners to hear. But basically, the station was launched as a way just to clear LSU sports inventory, because Guarantee has the contract, so contractually you have to have football, baseball, men's and women's basketball, and softball, and all the coaches shows. Well, Guarantee had 104 The X, and you're playing LSU softball on an alt rock station. It just didn't. It was crushing for the format. So essentially, they took 104.5, made it ESPN, and we're like, okay, we'll clear softball there and some other things, coaches shows, and we'll hire this kid, put him on afternoons, and if it works, great. And basically, if we generate any revenue off of it, awesome. But mostly, we clear the inventory from, instead of putting, coaches shows in the middle of afternoon drive on 100.7 The Tiger or something like that. Well, obviously, it worked better than anybody thought. So, and the station's grown and is now, I don't think I'm able to go into numbers, but suffice to say, it's really good. Let's see. Mark Perron, what's up? Shelby, the sweetest. Man, I'm just so back on comments. That was about Griffey. Jacob Thibodeau, what's up, man? Shelby, man, I miss baseball. Hope these clowns get something together. I saw the union has to go back they delayed the vote again because of the lack of a counter. So, running out of time, man. Hey, Don Jolibois, good morning. Chris Juge, what's up? Mimi, good morning. Let's see. Mimi, they're still sleeping. Let's see. Shelby, what's your take on the news about the Yankees potentially stealing signs in 2017 also? Pretty bad when you cheat, but can't do it well enough to beat other cheaters. Shelby, let me see. I'll take a line from Musso. Nope, didn't happen. Nope, didn't happen. Am I doing it right? Is that how you do it? Nope, didn't happen. Next. Did I do it right? Kelly Presley, what's up? Shelby, by the way, don't actually care about sign stealing, just poking the bear. Honestly, Shelby, I don't either. I think baseball is married to its antiquated mindsets where, it's okay to steal signs and relay them as long as you're not doing it to us. There's so much gray, right? It's hard to navigate. So, but I'm with you. I really don't care either way. I like the Astros banging on trash cans. I really don't care either. Devin Kelly, what's up, dude? Good morning. Hope you had a good Father's Day. Josh Richard, could you do all week for 3 hours with the Riot as a co-host? Josh, If I ever were to have a co-host, Ryan would be a very obvious choice. I don't think he'd want to do it, though. And I've told him that before because, right now he shows up one day a week for a couple hours, doesn't really need to prep. I have everything done. He sits and he just, he rides shotgun and we riff and banter and it's fun. And he, prepares his letter now and the kick rocks thing, but mostly he shows up and knows that I got it and he can riff off of me. If we were going to do a legit 3 hour a day, 15 hour a week co-host situation, he would have to be more present and invest more time. And 15 hours a week just to be planted in a chair where you have no wiggle room is, it takes you away from other enterprises, which I don't know that's possible for him. So, Devin Steve, what's up? Good morning. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Kippers. And Devin, thanks, bud. Hope your Father's Day was awesome as well. It was. Had a great Father's Day yesterday. So we're at the end of the comments. But yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. Father's Day was great. Got a chance to spend it with my dad and my grandparents. And my godparents were here. My brother, my sister drove in. My sister and her husband just moved to Kansas a couple weeks back. And she drove in with the kids, so got to see them yesterday. So all my nieces and nephews were around, which was awesome. And, of course, Drew got to hang out with all his favorite people. So Really, really, really good day, man. We're done. Y'all have an awesome rest of your day. Awesome start to your week. Shout out to Brock. They're tagged in this post. Of course, if you need an orthopedist, Brock's the best. And let's see, Locked On LSU coming up, and then later AFR. Peace. See y'all.